family secret here.
I knew Uncle Si. Uncle Si and Uncle Paul were twins. Both of them little raw-boned men. And Uncle Si, he left home at an early age. And he got in trouble. I can remember it quite well. We all were children at home one Sunday. And my father and mother was going to church. And Uncle Si was in prison. And he got out and he come by the house. And he walked in there, and we all run. We didn't know him. And he told us who he was. And we came back and we looked at him and he did favor Uncle Paul. And we knew it must have been a brother. Now I'm going to tell you a good one on my grandfather, Pap. We all call him Pap, but his name was Robert. Some called him Bob. We would go there, my brother and myself, Josephus, and we would stay with Pap sometimes, some nights. I was a good big boy like that. And Pap was a slave. When he was a young man, he was a slave. And he would sit down and he would tell us what would happen. He said, one night I wanted to go see my girlfriend, and you had to get a pass to go out at night. And if you didn't have a pass, they had a bunch of men called paddlers. They would go around at night. And if he caught you out, they would take you and whip you and take you back to Omaha. After he went out one night, he was sitting in there talking with the girl's father and mother and the girl. The three and himself was in the house. And they slipped around the house and he dropped. They come out, Bob, you know you're going to get a good one tonight. See, they would whip you and then take you back to Omaha. Say, you're going to get a good one tonight. How many in there? Perhaps nobody, just me and John and Joe and Jack, or 5 or 6 names. And he was the only young man in there. And when they opened the door, perhaps he made a break and they got out the way and started running behind him. He said, heard one of them say, let's go back. Don't let the rest of them out. Let's go back. Went back there, but nobody in the house but the girl and the girl's mother and dad. Perhaps I was just now gone.
The story of Uncle Si is very complicated in that he, at the time, I'm telling you oral history now, at the time he got in trouble, he pulled a gun on a man. He may have been a white man, I don't know. But he threatened to shoot this man. And once you pull a gun on a man, then, particularly if it's a white man, then that's like a death sentence, virtually. So he was put in jail, and he was bailed out of jail by J. Freeman Sullivan, who was the man who had a big plantation down on the highway. And Uncle Si was working in this, having developed this plantation, and he wore a derby hat. I'm telling you this like I know what I'm talking about. Just telling what they told me. He wore a derby hat, and he felt that this man, the word had come down for them to make sure that he did not leave there alive. So there was word to kill Si somehow, if on any pretense. And so I may use some language that you all may not be familiar with, but I'll use it anyway. Uncle Si wore a hat called a derby hat. It was a little round hat, and he was known as the derby nigger. And he was in the ditch digging in this ditch, and some other man was shot in this ditch. And the overseer came running down the hill I said, is that damn Derby nigga? Is that damn Derby nigga? And so Uncle Si knew right then they were out to get him. So he escaped. And this was Moselle. So he escaped. He came to my father's house and eventually left that area and moved a long way from Perry County, which is about 100 miles, to Maplesville. He moved to Maplesville and changed his name. His name was changed to Brown. I don't know what his first name was. Thomas Brown. Yeah, but when he died, I know you all went to the funeral. Now, there was one other question I missed. Yeah, he's married and had children.